Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about Trae Young and his trade talks. Today it was revealed that his camp and the Atlanta Hawks organization are progressing towards a future move. Also, I want to talk about this year's sudden emergence of the Phoenix Suns, and also OKC's campaign to beat 73-9, and why is just about shot now. All that and maybe a little more on today's video. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Regarding Trae Young, it always seemed like he would be the mainstay in Atlanta. The Hawks point guard was always the guy there. Drafted in 2018 by the Mavs, traded to Atlanta for Luka, and what I would consider a rather lopsided trade. Trae always seemed early on to be the number 2 guy in that draft behind Luka, of course. But all-star starter in 2020 and taking the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021. Say what you want about injuries, but he went into Madison Square Garden and silenced a very hungry crowd, beat them in 5 games. 5 games. A very hungry fan base silence like that. They took to the streets and said some monstrous things just because of one man. And then, he goes into Philly and takes them down in 7 games. That's a really good team. Demoralizing Ben Simmons, pretty much ruining his career, crazy enough. They lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the next couple of years they're straddling along the lines of mediocrity. They had 1 year, 2023, they won their playing game and then took the Celtics to 6 games. That Celtics team went on to almost topple those Heat in the conference final that year. So that's probably the peak since the 2021 run for the Hawks. And mediocrity is just not going to cut it in Atlanta, I guess. Or maybe it will, because they're in play-in position right now. But either way, Trae has always been in that camp. Not always. I keep saying always, but no. This year, he's in that camp of misfit point guards. Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball come to mind. And today, his agents and then Hawks general manager, Ansi Sala, have agreed to look for ways to involve him in a trade package. So it's a culmination of something that's a trend that's kind of continued for years with Trae. He's always been a really, really bad defensive point guard, probably the worst defensive guard in the league, if I'm totally being honest. But his playmaking ability and his shooting were able to cover that. This year, it hasn't. He's been inefficient. He's just not been the best player. Not even really close to being the best player for Atlanta. And so, logically, they saw that it was time to trade him. Trae, he's in his 8th year, I believe, and he's, always been this star guard. He can hit, deep threes and make crazy passes and cross over people like you've never seen before. But it wasn't leading to wins. Maybe it wasn't leading, and it also wasn't leading to, a good draft position either than that 1 year where they won the lottery and the worst year to win the lottery. But that's besides the point. Trae is now being packaged in a deal to one team I saw on my screen is Washington. That's really the only team I saw. And speaking of that, Dallas, really, they're not going to get a deal done with Anthony Davis before the deadline, is a report that came out. I wasn't looking for Trae per se in that deal. I was looking for more like a Shea, Porzingis, and maybe a first-round pick package. But Atlanta has made known they don't want to trade Shea, second-year player. And also, I think he was runner-up in Rookie of the Year first pick. Their first Atlanta's lottery win that didn't, turn out so well for them. But either way, Trae Young shipped to Washington maybe in a package that includes C.J. McCollum on another terrible defensive guard. So I don't know. I don't know if you can even get a deal done with Trae Young. I don't know what the market for Trae Young is looking like. I just know he's not the second best player in that 2018 class. In fact, he's been passed up by multiple guards now. And now it seems that Atlanta wants to trade him. Jalen Johnson is that new franchise cornerstone, and it would just make total sense for him to be shipped away, for Trae to be shipped away. He just doesn't fit with the team culture. They want to pursue a strong defense, and Trae just doesn't bring that, unfortunately. So those talks will continue on, and we'll see if they get a deal done. It's important to note that he's on the screen. It says he's tagged at $95 million for the next 2 years. So expensive player too. Really expensive player. We'll see what the market's looking like for Trae Young. Well, how about OKC now? So they started the season 24-1. Looked really, really, really unstoppable. Jalen Williams was out, and they slid in guard AJ Mitchell, and he's just another guy who can just put on a lot of offensive production for OKC. So that's just fabulous for them, right? They're bringing Jalen Williams back at a 24-1 clip, and now the semifinals in the NBA Cup, they lose to San Antonio. Wemby returns, leads San Antonio to victory over them. And then they lose a couple more times to San Antonio, including on Christmas Day. San Antonio, OKC wants to force teams into the paint, force teams into turnovers. San Antonio has a lot of guards who can go into the paint, take care of the ball, and finish. De'Aaron Fox, Stephen Castle. And then they also have shooters to kick out to Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Dylan Harper as well off the bench. So San Antonio almost seems like it was built to be this OKC team's kryptonite. They also took a loss to Minnesota, in which Chris Finch got ejected early on, and Ant came up in the clutch to defeat OKC in Minnesota. And then last night, Devin Booker sniped 3, and we'll get into the Suns in a sec, but a sniped 3 to win that game. Just crazy from the Suns, giving OKC their 6th loss. So since they went 24-1 and looked primed to take that record for wins in a season, right now they are, if my math stands correct, 6-5 since then. And right now, they are losing by 18 points to the Charlotte Hornets. Reading these stats off, Shea, all these players are, Chet, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, all minus 25s out here. Shea is 15, Chet is 15, Jalen Williams only has 10, AJ Mitchell off the bench with 11. Well, how about that? They're about to get their 7th loss on the season. You can really kiss goodbye to breaking that wins record. And also, I don't think they'll match their season win total from last year. They've just been losing too much lately. And a loss to Charlotte? Let's read off what Charlotte's doing right now. Brandon Miller is 27. Con Kneppel coming back. Or no, that's 27 minutes played. Brandon Miller is 22. Con Kneppel coming back with 18 points. So that they're just figuring out OKC, I guess. Maybe with driving, kicking, threes. That is what Charlotte's pretty good at. That's what they can hang their hat on. But OKC, it needs to figure it out, really. Actually, they're in a dilemma right now. When they're going to be 30-7, I know that sounds crazy to say they're in a dilemma at 30-7, but really they are. They got to figure out something. They're 6-6 on their last 12. It's really ugly, but we'll see. We'll see what they do to figure it out. And finally, getting into Phoenix, I'm watching their game right now against Houston. We're in a timeout break for a challenge. But Phoenix, man, going into the season, I pretty much wrote them off. They traded KD after a failed experiment with KD, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. And then they came into the season with Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Grayson Allen, 4 guards, and then including Jordan Goodwin and Colin Gillespie. That's 6 guards. I didn't think they would have a true shot. But they're proving themselves right now. They could possibly put their name into the contender discussion with the way they're playing right now. Even with Devin Booker sidelined for a couple games, Jalen Green sidelined for basically the whole season. Dylan Brooks has turned into like a star player, averaging north of 20 points a game with a terrific defense. Colin Gillespie, he was really good in Villanova, at Villanova in college, and he's getting his shot in Phoenix, and he's not wasting it. I think against the Lakers, he had like 8 threes. He's just a prolific shot maker. And he's a perfect addition to that team. Grayson Allen, you know how Grayson Allen's always going to play hard-nosed defense, and then nasty three ball. Jordan Goodwin's a terrific on-ball defender and a 3-and-D specialist that's really helped them out. Then, of course, you got mainstays like 3-and-D specialist threat, Royce O'Neal. He's been around for a while. And then Ryan Dunn, rookie last year, showed out last year. He's continued to be a good piece for them going into the future. And bigs like Oso Ighodaro and Mark Williams, who can play as rim-slashing dunk spot centers. The story with Phoenix has been their defense, really. They force the most turnovers in the league. They're fast, and they hound you. So many guards going after you. And then their offense can do enough where they're shooting the three at a really good clip. And they score enough, and they're fast enough, and they definitely defend well enough to win a lot of these games. And that's what they've been doing. And they've been shocking me among other fans. They've been shocking me. I never would have expected this out of the Suns team. But here they are, 7th seed and looking to climb as they're playing the Rockets in a pretty big matchup. They're up 72-67 with 5:45 left in the third quarter. So Phoenix, wow. They got that win against OKC, and I'm happy. I'm actually really happy about it. Devin Booker has grown to be a player that I have adored over the years. Just a consistent threat, and loyal to Phoenix. So I enjoy watching them. I really do. They got a lot of intriguing players, a lot of interesting characters on the team as well. And just missing Jalen Green this entire season, and still with a winning record, and a really good winning record at that. Really impressive out of this Phoenix squad. One small thing I was going to mention is that when I was watching today, I went on Reel, and I saw the Bulls 39 points with 9 minutes left to play in the third quarter. I was shocked by reading that, but seems that they picked up offensively if they finished the game, losing 115-101. But still, I mean, wow, that's a pretty nasty number to look at. And that's gonna do it for today. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I just thought I'd just pull out of a mailbag of topics, what intrigued me in the past couple weeks in the league. And I'm really excited to see how this Western Conference race turns out. Trades. When are we going to see our first trade? The year has passed and we still haven't gotten one. I'm getting anxious almost, waiting for a trade. And it could be Trae Young. We'll see. It could be someone else. It could be really insignificant. I'll take anything right now. But of course, just the waiting game, and just keep on watching basketball. Watching college basketball. Let me know if you want to see any college basketball content, because I have my eye on that as well, the SEC and whatnot. I'm just really excited to hear what y'all think. I'm really excited about this project going forward, and give me feedback. Maybe leave a like, maybe even subscribe. I'll catch y'all guys in the next one. Peace.